Week 11, let's get into it. All right, so we're going to jump right in. On the 13th, we received our Q1 Microsoft dividend. It was about 83 cents a share. And again, for all dividends in this account, they are auto reinvested. So as you can see, we received our dividend 310 cash, and that was put right back into Microsoft stock. So we got a whole 0.008 shares. So yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's more than we had last week. So a win is a win. And then on Monday, St. Patty's Day, we bought our usual DIVB and CGDV. Only small call out here is that with the price down, as we'll see in the account balance part, we bought slightly more shares than usual. So again, 2 and a partial, 2 and a partial for CGDV. And that's the week of activity. All right, so turning to overall account balance, definitely a big recovery from last week. I think at the end of March 11th, it was kind of our lowest total to date. Was actually in the negative. Again, a lot of that is was the Nvidia put. Just with options, it's going to be probably more volatile than earning shares typically. So we'll get to the Nvidia when we get to it, but that was definitely a big part of the recovery this week. In terms of callouts, again, just going down the list, SCHD, really the only positive part of the account so far at 2.2% growth year to date. JEPQ down big again, even despite having now 3 dividend payouts, still down more than the SPY. FNILX down a lot as well, and then Apple just brutal sell off. I mean, no way to sugarcoat it. Down 15% year to date. Definitely not good. Microsoft also very sluggish. Down almost 9%. So again, the 2 stocks in the account, although they're a smaller percentage, about a little over 3% each of the overall account balance. They as you can kind of see in the year-to-date dollar column, they kind of 2 of the bigger detractors, despite their smaller weight. The new dividend accounts, DIVB and CGDV, as you can see, those are we can't really see it because there's no year-to-date since they were not in the account on Jan 1st, but they are negative. So again, with $100 or about $100 into them each week, basically you can kind of take the week and multiply it by 100, and that'll give you a rough idea of how much has been put into them. So for example, this is week 11, so 11 times 100, so about 1,100 has been put into each of these. So again, DIVB down about $20, CGDV down about $15. But again, the good thing with dollar cost averaging is, if the price goes down, we're just buying more shares than usual. And when the recovery happens, which it will, for price, then we'll have even more growth than if the stock was just or ETF was just flat all year, or even just going slightly up all year. So ETF can start at 100, dip down to 50, end of the year at 100. So year to date growth would be 0. But again, if you're buying the lows, you're buying the dips, you will actually end up with growth, even if the ETF is flat from a pure price perspective. And you also have to throw in that these are dividend ETFs, so we're going to get 4 dividend payouts this year as well, which should not only help, but each dividend payout will be larger and larger as we're accumulating more and more shares. And then the NVIDIA put, again, as I mentioned before, extremely volatile. NVIDIA is volatile, and then you add options on top of that, and then you add just overall market volatility on top of that. Again, super, super volatile. So this was at 840 last week. Now it's down to 209. And it's looking pretty good. So again, it expires the 21st this week. So as long as NVIDIA stays above 114, this should be in good shape. Right now, I'm leaning towards just letting it expire. However, if the next couple weeks look good from a metrics standpoint, risk reward standpoint, then I may look to roll it out. Okay. So total value about $44,748.87. That represents a year-to-date growth of -$41. But again, I think that should help. Even if all the ETFs stay the same, I think just by the NVIDIA put expiring, knock on wood, that will bring the account to positive for the year, and the year-to-date percent growth -0.09. So basically, overall, basically flat for the year. You look at overall SPY being down about 4.5%. Relatively speaking, I think the account is in good shape. We have good amount of cash in the account, which is earning interest while everything else is going down, and we're kind of using options strategically, not getting too aggressive on them. And again, I think another solid point is that again, this is an income account, and we still have 3 dividends for Q1: SCHD, DIVB, and CGDV. And DIVB and CGDV will be probably relatively small. Again, we're just starting those positions, but those will help us add to the share count. And we'll also have a SPAC's money market interest payout at the end of the month. So we'll have about four payouts of varying degrees, along with the option, pun intended, to sell another put option on NVIDIA or another stock or ETF of choice. So that wraps up week 11. As usual, I hope everyone has a great week of buying, selling, trading. Again, stick to your plan. There's 1,000 conflicting headlines a day, so just stick to your plan. Be smart. Don't over leverage, and that's it. All right. Take care.